friendship and everything, but put the helmet on and look at those eyes.
Well, we've even seen riders donate their second bike to other riders that have destroyed their bike to get out there and continue to race. Yeah. And as you said, they all want to see each other out there. And Rex Wolfenden, he races in this class, but he also builds half the field.
Yeah, well, he does such a good job on it too. So, and it's just down here in Melbourne, the workshop.
Same as that Manta Engineering. There's pretty much Manta Engineering brakes on a lot of those bikes out there. They've all seemed to have Manta stickers all over them somewhere.
But Robbie Phillis, he's got a lead now of 10 seconds. He's backed off a bit. Now they're starting to get Stu Loly into the 57s as well. Then you go back and they're getting into the 2-minute, 10-second bracket. But the Duke 157s around here, that's what an average 883 or 1200cc Harley was doing around here in the when the Harley Sports Championship was racing. But look at this side by side again with the lap coming up in the 111.
Yeah, I think poor old Neville Grant's about to get the short back and sides treatment. Laurie Fyffe, he got the best run there. Stu Loly goes round the outside, shakes his head, doesn't issue a bird, steps the back end out and says, look, that's what you should be doing, son, when you get on the gas. Heads down towards Siberia. But the only thing is now that Stu Loly, Braxy, has got probably about 5 or 6 bike lengths at least that he needs to make up to the loose cannon Laurie Fyffe. And there's only 1 lap and about 4 corners to go.
And Laurie Fyffe loves a challenge.
Oh.
And we'll just see.
You don't issue him a challenge.
No, I think the one's already been issued. But imagine being in back mark and you're riding as hard as you can in the conditions, and someone like Mr. Superbike comes past, like you said, going down to the shops to get the pint of milk on the Sunday morning.
Mm. And looking magnificent as he does it as well. And look at Stu Loly. He was very fast through there last time on the Suzuki GSX, but I think he may have left himself a little bit of work to do. We've seen how fast Laurie Fyffe's bike is in a straight line. Back market doesn't seem to hold the loose cannon up at all. The 2009 Period 5 Australian champion looks like he'll come round to take second place behind Mr. Superbike.
Final lap coming up, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if Robbie Phillis was having a look at the crowd or actually having a sly glance to see how far he was actually in front. These guys are lapped up to 8th position, so showing the guys are actually being sensible, keeping a lot in reserve, and we're just trying to find whether 156 now, Laurie Fyffe, the fastest bike on the track, and I think that's the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, I think it will be, Braxy, because that is a lightning fast lap. But at the same time, Stu Loly's managed to close up from that 6 bike length deficit round at Siberia. And we're well and truly into the last lap now, and this is going to be a ding-dong battle for second place. We've seen the great drive Fyffe gets out of here, but look at Stu Loly, comes up on the inside, but Laurie Fyffe just enough to get round the outside and lead them through turn 4. Won't be holding it wide open through there under the doctor's orders today with the wet conditions.
Oh, mate, and there's the back markers coming up, of all things, on the last lap again. When these guys are battling for their second spot.
Darren Lark looking over his shoulder. He's getting out of the way. He doesn't want to get involved in this battle. Is that Keithy Higgs or Evan Pitkin? I think that might be Evan Pitkin on 29. Yeah.
And he was out wide as well, and these guys have had to go wide around Siberia to
all
get
that bike of Evan Pitkins, that's a P&M Kawasaki. That is genuine exotica.
Well, he's probably going, don't hit me, especially around Siberia. But look at this, the body language, as we go back to our leader.
He was on the edge, Laurie Fyffe then, wasn't
he? Very much so, very much so. I think he reckons if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room anyway.
He had most of his feet over the edge of the precipice. Oh, speaking of that, oh no, he was going to have a big dip down the inside, but Stu Loly, he just left the braking later than late, and there was no way that Laurie Fyffe was going to get down the inside and maintain his direction towards the top end of the circuit without going through the lake first.
Laurie Fyffe won't be too impressed. He was actually leading the race, and he's battling on to hang on to second spot. Well, he's got third spot as Robbie Phillis comes to take the checkered flag, is it? Yep, he stands on the pegs. Does he a la Rossi impersonation? Because this time last year he had a Rossi helmet on, I do believe, if I remember correctly.
And I think Stu Loly may just hang on there. Braxy, geez, that was close. There was only a Period 5 wheel in it, but the clenched fist from Stu Loly, I think, indicates that he has taken second place. Laurie Fyffe back there in third. Andy Lind gets through in fourth place, it looks like, on the 311 machine. And
7/100ths of a second. That's how close that the Loly got over the Laurie Fyffe then. And put your hands together for Mr. Superbike. Anybody that's here, this guy is a legend of Australian road racing. And he goes up to the paddock, and riders are coming up to chat to him, old team bosses and team crew chiefs, and even younger riders that had never heard about him. But
there's our top three, all congratulating each other. Big pats on the back there, but what a great effort. Robbie Phillis takes victory from Stu Loly on the Suzuki GSX and Laurie Fyffe on another Suzuki GSX. Braxy, it was a Suzuki GSX benefit at the top three of the field. Luckily that Andrew Lind upheld Kawasaki honour in there on that magnificent Z1000.
Well, we've had the Suzukis in the Super Sport, and just showing it's a good ad for Suzuki's 50th year anniversary, actually, isn't it?
Well, the 25th year of the GSXR.
Yeah, exactly right. And I've got a GSX 1100E sitting in the garage, an 82 model, and a couple of guys have found out about it.
There's Laurie Fyffe celebrating with a celebratory burnout on the number 23 machine as Mr. Superbike waves to the appreciative crowd. I bet you there are people here that have come to see Robbie Phillis race.
I'm sure they are, because he is a living legend. And look at that, from one legend to another, as we get the highlights of what's been happening on track and in the pits during the day here at this magnificent Phillip Island racetrack that is the venue for the 2010 Iveco Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix, that is going to explode into action at about, I think it's 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, isn't it, for the opening race of the 125s? And then a late start for the Moto GP at 4 o'clock kickoff, I do believe. So unusual for Moto GP, but normally it starts about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. But for international stuff, well, we like it a bit later
daylight
anyway.
Saving as well.
Exactly right. But we might take a quick break here on GPTV and come back in a short while.
These pure waters are special. Something goes in there